up, everybody? We back after 7 days of some Edmonton Oilers chaos. Felt like the perfect time for us to sit around, crack a couple of cold ones, and reassess some things here for the Oilers. It is a terrible day outside in Edmonton. It's rainy, wet, 10-ish degrees. So why not watch us crush a couple of beers in the middle of the afternoon, the ultimate hump day experience, 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. I feel for you if you're still at the office, but you can hang out with us for a couple of hours. And I got double guest here this afternoon. It's menage a trois, no Sean Panganiban. Pour one out for him. We got Michael Menzies, of course, and news director here at Oilers Nation, Zach Laing. Excited to kick back. Cheers. Let me say, first things first.
Cheers.
Producer Brett as well behind the scenes. It's a tough life over here at ON. Zachary, give me a vibe check, brother. We'll get into hockey talk in a bit. We just had a long weekend. What did you boys really get up to? I've really only talked about my trip to you guys. I'm curious what you guys did.
You know what? It was a good long weekend for me. Just kind of hung out, ran some errands, threw the feet up. I've been in the middle of an X-Files rewatch right now.
Ooh.
So I'm deep in
Mulder
the weeds
and
right
Scully?
now on that. Yeah, Mulder and Scully. Really excited for the reboot series they're doing. Also excited they're doing a director's cut of the first movie that's coming out, which is apparently a lot scarier than the original one. So big sci-fi guy over here. Pretty excited about that.
I didn't know they were doing an X-Files reboot. Who's in it?
I cannot remember the lady's name.
I think
Danielle.
Sydney Sweeney's in it.
She plays one of the aliens.
She can't act. She can't be in there.
But Ryan Coogler is the director of it. The guy who did Sinners and the Black Panther movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
the guy
so
who did Sinners is doing the X-Files?
So I watched an interview he did a couple months ago. He grew up watching the show with his mom. And so it's really important for him to like pay homage to the original series in the reboot. So I'm fired right the fuck up for it.
Original stars David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson have had discussions about appearing in this reboot. So, all right, there's the hoping.
Speaking of movies, I went to go see Obsession on Friday.
Oh, and?
Unbelievable. Movie of the year. I have never been so unsettled watching a movie in my life. Indy Navarrete is her name. She does Nikki. Next Scream Queen. Unbelievable. Deserves a nomination. And done by Curry Barker and Cooper. I can't remember his name.
I always feel bad for him because he gets...
Yeah.
He's not the face of the operation.
But he's in it.
Yeah.
He's in. And unbelievable movie. Just all the way through.
Are you guys in or out on scary movies? I have often been. I don't understand going out of your way to feel on edge and feel uneasy. I'm also just maybe a massive pussy. I think that could be part of it. But that one, thank you, Menzies. Fuck you. That one for me, Obsession, I got on the list. Are you guys down for scary movies?
Yeah,
You're in?
Yeah, definitely. You get bored. I think if you watch them young, and if you get scared really young, either you're traumatized or now nothing will scare you. And so for me, nothing will scare me because I saw The Ring 2 when I was 5 or 6 years old, and so from there it was like, okay, I'm good for anything.
I was just about to say the movie that fucked me up the most was The Ring. The first one, The Ring. I remember being a small young child and I couldn't even finish that movie. I ran into like the other room to read Captain Underpants with a flashlight under a blanket. Like I can visually... You don't forget a feeling like that, and then that movie. You're in on scary movies.
Great
You're a
book
movie
series.
buff.
Great movies or book series.
You put your hand down, you flip the page. That made me feel better.
Yeah. So I grew up similar to you as a massive pussy. And
You grew out of it.
Hated horror movies. Hated horror movies for a long time, but the last probably like year and a half, I've really gotten into it. To the point where, like, earlier this year, it's all that my fiance and I were watching. It was like every night. We've watched all of them. The Conjurings, Insidious, Sinisters, everything. So I'm all the way in on horror movies right now.
I've seen most of those. I'll say the Insidious series. That one's
fantastic.
That's my jam.
They have a new one coming out because obviously when you get... Well, that's the thing. When you get, like, going with it, you're just like, okay, how many times can we go into the further? This next one, The Further, is coming to the real world. It actually kind of looks pretty decent. But the movie that I couldn't do growing up was The Exorcist. Still haven't seen it.
Really?
The original, like the original
yeah.
one?
Oh, yeah. Because I think I saw Scary Movie 2 first where she peed for about 15 minutes first.
It always comes back to scary movies.
There was
or
so the-
wrestling.
well, just hold on to your pants, buddy.
There was a movie as a kid that messed me up, and it was M. Night Shyamalan's movie Signs.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Swing
So-
away, Meryl.
I had a younger brother at the time, and he was still like there was a baby monitor in my little brother's room at the time, and there's a scene in that movie where the aliens are communicating through the crackling of the baby monitor, and it's the same fucking baby monitor that was in my brother's room, and it scared the shit right out of me. So it took me a long time to come around.
Well, you make a good point. You just need, if you could make one good horror movie, you're going to be able to make 5 of them.
Yeah.
Because you only need one, and if they're bankable, people keep going back. And I do think, like, I love going to the theater to watch like a horror movie. I think that's truly one of the few. Okay, get up and go out to the theater, because you can have these moments that are, even if they're not scary, might just be shocking. Like the scene in Don't Breathe, where
I've seen that one.
and when it's in the basement, and it's a guy that is blind, get something shoved into his mouth.
Nice.
Is all I'll say.
Sorry.
And I nearly, it was like a half full theater. I nearly stood up and was just like floored about like, wow. Wow, they did that. But me and a couple old coworkers did like a double feature a year and a half ago.
Did you pay for both?
Yeah.
Don't lie.
We're up.
lie.
We were upstanding, well-known citizens of the Lakeland. But so I held, one person paid and we held the door. But so it was it was the latest Terrifier, and then what was it? The Don't Smile, or what's the Smile?
Smile.
So
Oh,
it was the latest Terrifier, and then Smile 2. I think we did back to back.
Oh,
I didn't know what Terrifier was. That's terrifying.
that's
Terrifier's awesome.
Yeah,
It's fucked up.
So yeah, and it's like almost like cartoonishly violent. It's extremely violent, and the last Terrifier has some scenes there you just kind of shake your head. Like,
Yeah,
really.
you go, how the fuck?
We're bombing children is really like where we're going here. Like, but some of the scenes.
Put that on my list.
Yeah, exactly. So, but one of the scenes I remember cackling, laughing because it was so cartoonishly violent, and then I realized that made me seem like a psychopath in the theater, and people were looking at me as I was cackling, laughing. So,
Officer?
you don't want to be that guy. Yeah.
I got one for you.
You don't want to be that guy.
Especially in the theaters now.
Yeah. Exactly.
I worked at the
Yeah.
theater when that happens. So.
like I'm at the point where there's not a lot of horror movies that genuinely scare me anymore. But the one that I saw a couple months ago that genuinely kind of left me fucked up, it's called The Visit.
Yeah.
So have you guys seen that one?
I know what you're talking about.
It's, the premise of it is it's kind of like a mockumentary style movie, similar to like the Blair Witch Project,
Yep.
right? And it's these two kids going to see their mom's estranged parents. And it is just genuinely one of the most fucked up, scary movies I've ever seen in my life. It's right
This
up
lady
there,
looks terrifying.
top couple. It is terrifying.
Once it hits the twist, you're like, how
Oh.
the fuck?
It's such a good twist.
Yeah. But you mentioned how you make one good horror movie, you got movies.
Yeah.
Curry Barker, who made this Obsession, now has another movie already filmed, being edited right now, called Anything But Ghosts, where him and Cooper are playing like they're kind of like fake Ghostbusters. They're scam Ghostbusters until they encounter a real one with Aaron Paul and Bryce Dallas Howard is in it as
Until
well.
Slimer comes around.
My aunt is editing it, is editing the movie. And
Nice.
said she-
And then isn't he
she's
doing the
worked with
Texas
him.
Chainsaw
Casual
Massacre?
Flex?
And Texas Chainsaw, yeah. But she's worked with Curry Barker and said that he is fantastic to work with.
It's actually so accurate. You make one good one. Yeah, he's already got 2 lined up afterwards. That's pretty accurate there,
Yeah,
Menzies.
you gotta you shoot them out. Even the Terrifiers are not good movies. Like they are gore fest. you know, especially some of the scenes, like in the first one, there's a very famous cutting of a woman.
It's in the third one, too.
Yeah, exactly. They pay homage with a callback. But these are very, like, cheap and can be done quick. And so they're just they're multiplying. It's essentially, they're like gremlins. They just keep, there's more and more of them. So you just need one, really, and away you go. You're going to have a whole feast of
And
them.
you can't feed it after midnight.
Yeah.
Much like a gremlin.
Yeah.
Which I guess we started with this long weekend. What did you do this long weekend as well?
Well, I was going to bring up one more that's kind of, it's not super, but did you see Together?
Oh, yeah. Dave Franco.
Yes.
I
Really?
quite liked it because it was unique.
Yeah.
It was like relationship horror, which
Can be terrifying.
yeah, well, exactly. Like the ramifications, some of the actual things I think end up scaring you. If you've seen enough horror movies, they're just like the ramifications, the real world consequences of what would happen, and then it actually speaks to your like anxieties and fears more than just being like woo boo, jump scare.
That's deep rooted.
Yeah,
horror.
Like there's a Hitchcock movie called The Wrong Man. It's not a horror movie. It's not even really a suspense movie. It's about a guy who looks awfully like a thief, and so he's put on trial instead. And what happens in the movie, he eventually does get off, but his wife goes insane because of it and believes it's her fault, and she's put away in an asylum. He gets off, but it's like, now that's scary.
That's psychological horror.
Yes, that's what's scary is this could happen to you. You lose everything for no fault of your own. That's life, baby. That'll scare you.
Roll the dice. Here on Happy Hour, you never know what you're going to get. And I like that we just went off on horror movies for like 10 minutes, boys.
But otherwise, like this weekend, I went and visited a friend on Friday night. Otherwise, I was back in the capital region, just hanging out a little bit, doing lots of walking.
Ooh,
Trying
my
to get
boy.
walking. Yeah, get the steps in.
Yep.
I know Stauffer said yesterday he's hit 12,000 steps.
12K a day for Stockholm.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I don't know if I'm getting that high, but trying to include more steps. I think that's big.
Let's all follow Stauffer's lead. Yeah. For me, I went out to the island.
Yeah.
Victoria. Visited my grandfather. It was a lovely, lovely time. Went with my brother, my mother, my brother's new 6-month-old baby, who flew like a champ. I had points was like, I don't want to be associated with them in case, when the baby starts crying, you don't want to be. Granted, I feel like for the most part, people, if you see the parents are like actively struggling and trying to make an effort with the crying child, I can't really be mad at them.
No.
But it's when they're kind of just letting their kid or their toddler get away with absolutely anything. But besides the point, the island was lovely. Weather was good. Was it dog shit in Edmonton this past weekend as well? Because it snowed in Calgary, but what was it in Edmonton?
It was fine. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like double digits?
Well, I know,
Yeah.
around there,
Yeah.
and the sun
So not
kind of
that
came
bad.
out Saturday. It was fairly comfortable Sunday. I know, and like Bonnyville, they got like 2 inches of snow on Friday. Welcome to May Long.
That's a lot of snow.
They got a dump. They got dumped on.
Dumped. I only saw the videos of Calgary. Shout out
Yeah.
Yegwave. I'm sorry, Dan. That's where I get some of my news from time to time. But other than that, it was lovely. I even golfed out. My thing this summer. This is the summer I'm getting into golf because I've been putting into work the last couple of years. I no longer am like egregiously bad at golf, and now I'm in that just above 100, below 100 thing. That chase, when I fuck up a shot, I know what I did wrong. And like now it's all starting to come together.
You didn't get invited on this Tyler Ryder.
In fact, we just finished O&E today, and
The
Tyler
match?
just skirted the fuck on out of the office, and I was like, "Where are you going?" So I gotta go
time.
golf. And the worst part was yesterday I was talking to Tyler repeatedly about I need more weekday golf friends. I said I need guys that can golf right after work. We have a course right over there, Riverside.
Yeah.
Didn't mention nothing about golfing with Ryder. Literally the next day's afternoon.
I'll golf with you happily.
Fucking rights.
I used to work at a golf course
Me
many
too.
moons ago back in Calgary. And the best thing about the job was the free golf. It was a private course. It was awesome. I played a shitload of golf. But in the last 6 or 7 years that I've lived in Edmonton, I haven't played any golf at all. for a long time. So I've been missing it a lot, and I've been wanting to get back out onto the links.
Even if you suck, it's just a good time out in the sun with the boys, drinking some beers. You're also talking about discount golf. Well, at the spot I went out on the island. So my brother's buddies, my brother's in a band, shout out to Broken Yokes. The guitarist now lives on the island because he's becoming a pilot. And he picked us up, drove us out, great hospitality, and then had I'll say it, forged some documents so that keg employees get like 50% off golf or whatever, and he's a keg employee. So we threw our names on some things and got 50% off golf. Shout out, working the system. I'm not going to say what course or where, what keg.
You know, forgery, as time has gone along, has become its own...
That's harmless forgery, all right.
It's become a lost art, you know, as things have become more digital, the ability to, you know, copy a
When
signature.
I used to have to do my dad's signature back in the day, I know that his Andy Bordato, so it was AB, just like my signature, got so good at it.
My dad's signature was much easier than my mom's because she did like cursive writing.
Yeah, it looks good and stuff.
Whenever I had to forge something for school, Dad signed everything. It's just a big B and an H. It's the same thing as mine. So.
PH. Nice B and an H, baby. All right. We'll get into some more nonsense the more we go along. We got some games planned. We got all kinds of videos, fun stuff from around the sports world as well. But we'd be crazy not to lead off with the Edmonton Oilers. Boys, you two have been extra busy running the website because the Oilers might not be playing anymore, but they're still making headlines as if they were playing. Shout out to you boys on the website. So I guess you can take it from the top. What we know, the Edmonton Oilers, formally asked to interview Bruce Cassidy, declined by the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, there was a little bit of a development yesterday. Now, Zach, I saw you tweeting about it as well because I believe I think it was Jesse Granger that maybe made the tweet. And it was talking about Kelly McCrimmon before their series with the Avalanche gets going, met with the media and had I believe an opening statement, Zachary. You might have watched this a little bit better, but he said teams have asked for permission to speak with Bruce Cassidy, but that the Golden Knights' focus remains on the playoffs. Said he spoke to Bruce and understands. Now, you watched it. Describe to me the setting in which this went down.
Objectively hilarious.
Thank you.
Menzies has a good column coming out at 4:00 about it today as well. A really interesting scenario. They get ahead of the noise, so to speak, with their opening statement where, they just put their foot in the mouth over and over with it. And, on the Cassidy thing, they're saying, oh, well, it's the playoffs and we're busy and, this, that, and the other thing. When, how much time does it really take to say yes or no? If you're going to say no, just say no. What's the point in stringing this along?
DJ Bean had a great line where he said it's like if you were you were walking and somebody had to pass by you and you just went, oh, here, okay.
Yeah.
That's the amount of effort the Golden Knights have to do.
Literally, it's such a simple thing. And it's become such a life of its own over the course of the last, 8 days now that it's been since the news first came out. The Oilers are in an ugly situation. There's no other way to put it right now. They've backed themselves into this corner of, well, we wanted to hire Cassidy. We didn't necessarily want to fire Chris Knobloch, but then the news leaks, and then you kind of have to. You can't bring that guy back or just leave him sitting around wondering whether or not he's going to, be behind a bench next fall, right? And, hey, credit where it's due to Knobloch. He's getting paid for 3 years to go sit on his ass. That's a good deal if you could get it, right? But from the organizational standpoint, it's an ugly, ugly situation.
Before we go more on the shit show side of things, because that's exactly what it is here for the Edmonton Oilers, I'm curious your thoughts, because I kind of have the stance to what you just said there about, once the news got leaked that the Oilers attempted to interview Bruce Cassidy, there's no way Edmonton wanted that to get out. They wanted to play that close to the vest and, have your cake and eat it too while keeping Knobloch around. Immediately, the sentiment kind of was, well, you have to fire Chris Knobloch now that information came out. Maybe I'm just a little bit more old school. I'm curious your thoughts. Why? Why did you have to do that because of that? And I want to go further. That's not the big point of this discussion. I just kind of push back on that I don't know. If I was an NHL head coach and I heard my team was asking to interview other guys after I just failed repeatedly over and over for the last season, I don't think Nobby had much leg to stand on, in my opinion, in that. And maybe I'm out to lunch on this, that they could have just kept him around while saying, yeah, we are talking to other head coaches. Where do you come out on that?
Well, it's just reviewing what everyone's saying. And Stan Bowman in the exit interview says, well, we wanted to do, the right thing and do it face to face. Stuff like that.
After
it's like,
Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, Mother's Day weekend.
Shit show,
we were going to do it here, but we couldn't delay. And it's like, okay, you can't have it both ways, right? Everyone understands that the Oilers, hey, you're trying to improve the head coaching position, and they had made a determination. So you wanted to try and get permission early, so that by the time you fire Knobloch or what have you, then, okay, you can move right into an interview. So it's taking the least amount of time possible. But then don't tell us this, we want to do it we got to do it the right way. And, Chris has been such a, and saying, well, it wouldn't be appropriate to comment on this Vegas situation. It's like, well, maybe this whole situation wasn't really appropriate either. We can get along with it, and it's really... yeah, only a story for a short cycle of a couple days, because, yes, eventually they fire Knobloch. But on the same hand, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth, and that's just what I find funny.
They just got caught, and they were like, actually,
and it's like, no, but Chris, no. It's I could just imagine the text between Knobloch and Pullman, and Knobloch says, well, what's this? Like, no, come to Edmonton. I'll explain it all. Travel light. Just, don't ask, whatever. It's fine. It's just whatever.
Your return flight's going to be quick back out again.
Yeah. So I just find that aspect funny. I mean, really just all the dramatic ironies here of the whole situation. That, Woodcroft was probably laughing at the whole situation. But the day Knobloch gets fired, he gets eliminated. Knobloch can look at the irony if they want to talk to a coach that he eliminated in last year's playoffs in 5 games and beat them twice in March. The Vegas is a continuing irony with their press conference yesterday talking about they keep creating all the distractions that they're saying that they're focused on hockey. So don't say they're not. It's just I think it's just a terrific soap opera here that's transpired.
I'm not distracted by everything else. Don't put it in the newspapers that I'm mad.
Yeah, I was not distracted.
There's no hiding it. You hiding it? Nobody
Don't hide
it.
it.
No hiding it.
I guess the next question is, where do we go from here? So I believe we might even have it in here. It was a quote from Frank Saravalli, and he was saying how, Bruce Cassidy's unquestionably the Oilers' #1 target type dealio, but that Vegas Golden Knights believe that if they continue to pay Cassidy his owed $4.5 million, that they can at least keep doing this while they're playing in the NHL playoffs, which, hey, I get it, we're all biased and we're all homers here as Oilers fans. I will say, my stance has been continued on this. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's the fact that Vegas is allowed to do this. Now, Vegas does themselves no favors in why the entire NHL fan base despises them. You go LTIR issues, Carter Hart, you fire your coach to Tortorella, no interviews. This team just simply can't get out of their own fucking way right now. But they're still winning hockey games, and if they're allowed to say, no, we're going to not hold them hostage, and who knows how long this situation entirely goes, I say don't hate the player, hate the game, and that they're just finding loopholes. I also pointed out to intern Corbin, that's probably because I'm a Patriots fan, and this is where I've stood on this for my entire life. Love the loopholes, but when you win, and you don't make any excuses for that. Yesterday, Zachary, though, we got some news. I didn't even know that the NHLCA was a thing or had their own X.com, the Everything App page account, because they came out with a statement from the Coaches Association. You can read it here on your screen, but Zachary, could you maybe explain to the folks at home, even me included, where do you think this situation could get headed to? Because basically, to me, this reads, we're not getting totally involved right now, but this is a little bit of unprecedented bullshit. Where do you think this ends up? Where could this go from here?
To be totally blunt, I think the Oilers are screwed. I genuinely do. I think at the end of the day, the Vegas Golden Knights would rather pay $4.5 million to not have Bruce Cassidy coach the Edmonton Oilers than they would have to pay $0 for Bruce Cassidy to coach the Edmonton Oilers. The statement was weird. I knew the NHL Coaches Association was a thing. Like, I knew there was an organization representing the coaches. But this is like the first statement that they put out about anything in like 5 years now.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Like, the last time they put out an actual statement about ongoing things in the league was when the Jenner and Block report came out about the Chicago Blackhawks Kyle Beach scandal, right? So we don't hear from them very often. And, you know, the more that I look at this, the more that you look at some of the specific language in here, like, this is the line that's kind of interesting. It would be unprecedented at the head coaching level should multiple teams be denied permission to speak with Coach Cassidy. Multiple teams. What if it's just one team that Vegas says no to, and it's the Edmonton Oilers? Like, like, there's nothing that anybody can do, you know? And it's weird because it's okay. So you think back, let's just say, you know, you look at last year, for example, right? You know, Glenn Gulletson is rumored to be a guy that the Dallas Stars are after during the Stanley Cup final. There's no official reports about, you know, oh, the permission's been requested or anything. As soon as the series ends, the day after, permission's granted, July 1st, Gulletson is the new head coach, right? You know, that's a current coach actively on the bench, right? If somebody was after, you know, one of Vegas's assistants or something like that, yeah, it would make sense that they would deny permission at this point in time because they're in the midst of coaching with the guy actively coaching for the team. But the fact that Cassidy's just sitting on his ass at home right now is also what makes this kind of a weird situation, right? I really do think that the Oilers are going to be screwed here and that they've shot themselves in the foot entirely. And they're going to have to go with a completely different coach.
No, Cassidy understands.
Oh,
Kelly
yes.
McCrimmon said he understands.
He
The
spoke
teams
to him.
understand.
He spoke to him, and he understands.
You know, look. We're expecting a hockey team that is focused purely on hockey. Like you expect Kelly he's got pom-poms to dust, okay? They have team meals to plan, media conferences to not attend or fulfill. You know,
appeals to file,
flying to New York and being at the press conference of being fined $100,000 and stripped of a second-round pick. How could they possibly have time for this? So I think everyone just needs to cut the Golden Knights some slack here. I mean, this is really...
They're juggling so many different balls in the air right now.
And they're focused on hockey. I mean, expect tonight, I believe, the series starts with the Avalanche. We're going to see one of the greatest game plans in a series that we've ever seen. I mean, this team has had 6 days between games to concoct this magic game plan.
They better
for the
win
Colorado
5
Avalanche. You know? So why is it... Don't say that they're not focused on hockey, everybody, okay? This is... I mean, the Coaches Association thing is a big nothing burger. I mean, they just say, monitoring,
it's
unfolding, it's unprecedented. I think Knobloch's on the executive, actually, of the Coaches Association. Someone told me that. So
Do you have to be a coach to?
well,
technically.
Hey, well,
Sorry,
don't you have...
sorry.
Cassidy's not a coach. I mean,
Well,
this is
okay,
what
yeah,
this
I
whole
guess, yeah, you're right.
situation's about. So
They pay their union dues at the beginning of the calendar year,
that's
like
right.
everybody else.
That's right. So obviously, I'm being a bit facetious here. No, I generally, if this is how it's explained, I don't have a huge issue necessarily. If the Golden Knights want to be scummy, it seems to be their prerogative that's something that they can do, and so do it. But when you come out, and Saravalli, you mentioned, he talked on Frank Liocchi today, called them weenies. Weenies.
What?
He held up a little, like, fucking hot dog, too. He had, like, a little hot dog that he held up on the
Frank's
street.
using prop comedy
Yeah,
these days?
Hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Without us? Damn.
Weenie top, they call him. But so they're he had props, because they have a bid, I guess, Frank and Beans on Frank. Anyhow, he called the Golden Knights weenies for just saying, "Look, we're focused on the hockey, blah blah blah." And my point is just, if you're going to be the bad boys, be the bad boys and say, "Look, as far as we understand, we don't have to grant permission." And so at this time, we're not granting permission. Just come out.
If Kelly McCrimmon came up and said, "Don't hate the player, hate the game," I feel like a lot of people would be like, "Well, shit."
Well, they're just extending this will they, won't they allow permission. It just creates a bigger distraction for them, and it's not like
they eat that up though.
Well,
Vegas is a showman. That's a showman area.
yeah,
Come on now.
they could be emotional vampires thriving on all the energy. That could be the case. I just think it's just funny. The whole thing I have found the comedy with, and the Golden Knights are creating this much longer distraction than if they had simply either allowed permission or just said no.
Yeah.
But no, they're living in the gray area. We got the hockey to worry about.
At least Bill Belichick would have been straight up and said to you in your face, hey, we're not playing ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the thing about all of this. Like, it's kind of been almost jarring to see how many people are like in support of the Oilers about this. Considering how much people love to just take their pot shots against the Edmonton Oilers. And it just really speaks to how pathetic this is from the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, nobody gives a shit that you're in the middle of the playoffs. The guy's not on your staff.
You fired him.
You fired him, for God's sake. Like,
relieved him of his duties. Sorry.
Just say yes or no. Just get it over with, and it goes away.
Yeah.
I was trying to find that picture of Frank, but then I realized that I was going to type in Frank Servali Weenie. And I figured that probably...
Share your screen to just me.
It was for work. It was for work.
Menzies, like you said, this entire situation is just comical, and it's kind of become one big joke. Well, we got more joke of news, however the fuck I'm trying to say this. And I'm curious if this guy's still a part of the Coaches Association. Mike Babcock's name has been mentioned over the last 24 to 36 hours. However, shout out to Aaron Drager. Doesn't like Twitter doctors, but he did put cold water on this pretty immediately.
Reached out.
And he reached out to Mike Babcock this morning about the idea of coaching again and the speculation around the Oilers. He said, quote, "Dregs, I'm retired. Loving it." I hope he means that thoroughly. I could not believe when I saw this name come out. I was more stunned about this when I heard the crazy report about Craig Berube, which I want your opinion on in just 1 second, Zachary, because I know you dropped an article and our Leafs Nation writers called it baffling and just crazy. There's no other way to describe it than shit show right now for the Oilers. The moment Babcock's name is being thrown around, Menzies, I want to give you credit. You were the first tweet I saw yesterday about the phallic puns of Edmonton Oilers, Woody, Nobby.
Well, and not to take more credit, but
everybody 30 minutes after you had that tweet, and I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Granted, you're not the first guy to think of that idea, but
it was the timelines. Yeah. But last Wednesday, in this very chair, I said the name Mike Babcock. If this Cassidy thing doesn't happen, you're going to hear the name Mike Babcock. And 1 week later, we did. And I remember your face. Your face was very surprised. You're like, that's no. But here we are.
He's retired. He's loving it, Menzies.
But this Edmonton Journal headline, shout out David Staples.
So was there ever actually, the Oilers said they were interested in this?
No.
Or was this just Bob Stauffer,
this was a Stauffer
Staples,
creation?
Word of mouth, classic internet offseason stuff.
Yes. The headline, Vegas GM is NHL laughingstock over Cassidy, while Oilers might be open to Mike Babcock as coach. I mean, you can't. This is
brilliant.
This is the best comedy going. I mean, how can you hate it?
Thoughts on Babcock? Ridiculous.
I tell ya, Mike Dad Babcock. I'm going to say that so much over the next little while.
Don't even need to give it that much airtime because it's not happening.
I know, but I'm going to be totally honest here. And I know all of the off-ice things that have happened with Babcock over his years and all of that kind of stuff. There is a world where I could see him as the Oilers coach next year.
If there's a team to do it, it's the Edmonton Oilers.
The Oilers evidently don't give a shit about what people do away from the rink. We've seen this before. They've been the second chance organization time and time again over the history of the organization, right? You know, the thing that has to be determined is which coach are you most comfortable giving what could be Connor McDavid's last year with the team the runway for, right? Craig Berube is terrifying to me. Bruce Cassidy, I'm not even convinced is like the guy. Peter Laviolette, fine. I can get behind him there.
I don't like that we haven't heard his name that much.
No, me neither. That's a little bit strange. You know, what else is there for options out there in terms of coaches that, you know, have the Stanley Cup pedigree? Well, it's not a really long list.
Adam Foote,
Like
as a player, Stanley Cup.
So if you go back to the turn of the century, the year 2000, there have been
2000
nails. There have been 18 coaches that have won a Stanley Cup. The only ones that aren't currently on a staff are Larry Robinson, Bob Hartley, Peter Laviolette, Randy Carlyle, Mike Babcock. I see it. There it is. Mike Babcock, Dan Bilesma, Daryl Sutter, Barry Trotz, Craig Berube, and Bruce Cassidy. Now, Trotz, of course, is, you know, the outgoing general manager. Claude Julien is also a part of that list, but he's the assistant coach for the St. Louis Blues right now. So, you know, Stauffer is saying the Oilers will want a coach who has won a Stanley Cup. Those are your options. Mike Babcock, whether you like it or not, is objectively one of the guys that is on that list.
See, that's what I think is like crazy. You can't just pigeonhole into former Stanley Cup champion for your head coaching search. You just need an experienced head coach, and whoever that could be. The Laviolette one, I want that to come across my desk that says the Oilers are interviewing Peter Laviolette. That is a proven guy who's been around multiple organizations, and the way you put it could be the final go with Connor McDavid. I think that's a guy that I'm comfortable with that name. Menzies, let me ask you, when you read the Craig Berube thing, I think much like everybody in oil country went, what the absolute fuck? That was a great article that you dropped, Zach. Shout out to Arun, was that his name?
Yeah, Arun.
Arun
Sirivanson.
That's good stuff. I've read some of his stuff in the past. Menzies, thoughts, feelings on Craig Berube, because I mean, you talk about, a guy needing to come in. The Oilers maybe need some more structure in their system. Well, last season, that was exactly what Craig Berube was supposed to do with a highly offensive team, and in an effort, completely shit the bed and has this team, the Leafs team, that is, in a world of hurt and a world of chaos. There is no way in my right mind. I don't even understand. And I get it, you cast a wide net. You know, you talk to this guy about this, and it could just it can't hurt to go and interview a guy like Craig Berube. Also, somebody pointed out to me, what about assistant coach Craig Berube? I went, okay, maybe I'm more down for that. That concept I could be. Menzies, where do you come out? That one was wild to read.
Well, I didn't have nearly as a visceral reaction to it, just because I don't think the Oilers want to offer him the job.
Yeah. It's just the casting the wide net.
Yeah.
Fact-finding mission.
Yeah, you know, I do think, and this is why this whole Cassidy thing rings so true, is just that I'm not sure the Oilers have a list. I think they had a guy. Had a guy. That's what I'm guessing they had. If Daryl Cates is the quote-unquote driving force, was mad about all of this, and Stan Bowman's under the caution, he's got to pick his general manager, and he knows Cassidy a little bit, I think he wants Bruce Cassidy. But now they have this, they're sitting in the waiting room, and the appointment, I think the appointment's getting moved back. It might be so you're just stuck in the waiting room. And so you start making conversation with people in the way. Well, Greg, so what did fall on your head? Was it a fight or was it a heavy weight? What?
I still
what
think
happened
that
with
had
that
to be some type of skull crusher thing that he was doing, because, there's no way you'd get that big. I was showing my grandfather this weekend.
Unbelievable.
And his wife, I was like, you see this Craig Berube? She's like, who's that? I went, this guy.
Could be the next one.
No, that guy? I'm kidding. But
Cast him
he's
in a
also
horror
local.
movie.
He's a local guy, right, as well?
Yes.
Calhoun's very own.
Yes, yeah. So I just... You're just trying to understand, okay, what's in the heads of the front office, like their plan. And so you get little bits, and so everyone's hammered home this experienced angle. Well, it makes sense that they would interview Berube. I don't think they're going to hire Berube. I really hope they don't hire Berube. I don't think he's the guy for this, because it does, overall, this situation feels a lot like when the Leafs fired Keith and they're like, we need a guy to
Crack
the whip, and 2 years later, midway through this past season, they're saying, well, this can't stand it any longer. So, of the names, I mean, you could go really creative too, and really start looking like a Michelle Therrien. Okay. But Sutter,
who are the biggest
think
dickheads back in the day? I said Sutter. I'd be so down for that, just for the content side of things.
I'm not opposed, but similar to you, Zach, about Babcock. If Stan says to him, "Hey, Mike, players' phones are off limits." Hey, Mike, don't ask young players on the team to rank other players in terms of, and then share it with the rest of the team. Hey, Mike, it's just overall belligerence.
Don't be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey,
if there's a guy close to a milestone, put him in the lineup.
Yeah, don't just stick it to Modano.
He's like the pettiest guy in the world.
Yeah, like I could in theory see it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I just think Oilers fans are probably going to be. This is going to be an underwhelming hire.
Now,
if it's not Cassidy, who are you like? Damn, yeah.
The idea has been you get on your hands and knees and you go apologize to Chris Knobloch and you say we didn't mean it. It's like we've seen plenty of boyfriend girlfriends break up and then always find their way back to each other. So. That's a play. Don't think so, because he's going to be getting paid no matter what
Can
now
they get
for the next
permission?
several seasons. Can they get permission from themselves to interview Chris Knobloch? That's the shit show that is the Oilers.
so Babcock was mentioned on Oilers Now yesterday. There was another name that came up as well. John Tortorella.
Yeah, that's...
I don't like that one either. Like, I think that one's even messier. Objectively, it'd be a lot funnier than a lot of the other options out there. It would be hilarious. But yeah, like and like the thing with Babcock for me is like he's a triple gold club, the only coach to do that. He's won the cup in Detroit. He's had some very, very good teams.
U-Sports National Championship? Did he win?
Believe
Yeah.
I think he did, yeah.
With the Huskies, I believe so. Had his year at the University of Vermont, his 3 months in Columbus. I'm not opposed to the idea of it because again, and I come back to this, right? Who are you hitching your wagon to Connor McDavid here for what could be the, sorry to steal the term, the last dance sort of a thing, right? Like the Oilers need somebody that they feel very comfortable and confident in to be able to get this team a Stanley Cup championship this season.
And Mike Babcock has that pedigree. You just say last dance. If the Oilers, and once again, he says he's retired and he's not doing it. God forbid he were to be hired as the Oilers coach. The next 2 seasons, I need a camera crew following the Edmonton Oilers like they did the last dance for that last season because the content it'd be everything, Brett.
Fuck it, Bob Hartley. You mentioned him. Let's do it. Is he still in Russia?
Yeah, he's still in the K. Well, he was out of the league he was in the league for a year, out of the league for a year, back
Why?
in the league. I don't entirely know.
What's Mike
It's
Keenan
Russia.
doing?
They do some weird shit
What's
over
Mike
there.
Keenan? I just Googled him.
Retiring.
I was like, is he still alive?
Did Gerard
Yes, he
Gallant?
is.
Did Gerard Gallant win a cup?
No,
Went to the final.
not on my list of guys.
He's in China.
Well, Gallant is
China.
another name
China.
I've seen some really campaign for. But honestly, absent of Stan asking his dad to coach and then him getting access to a time machine, there's probably not a guy that you're going to feel wholeheartedly 100% like, yes, we've got him. Scotty Bowman from 1977 is now our
To
head
me,
coach.
Peter Laviolette would be my 80% satisfaction. I would feel good about that. I'd feel confident. Probably not my first choice, but that's a good, if that's your backup plan in this whole scenario, which is why I keep saying, I need someone to have a report here that the Oilers are going to try and talk to him. Is there anything else on the coaching front?
How long does this go?
Oh, God.
Because the Oilers are going to wait for Cassidy.
As long as Vegas wants this to go.
Well, yeah. So how long can the Oilers? And I think they will be patient.
How involved does the Coaches Association get in this whole thing?
Do they have any levers to pull? I think the ultimate thing to watch is when Toronto asks for permission. Because I don't think it's ruled out that the Leafs would get permission. And then it's clear. Okay. Cassidy, we're not denying him the ability to work or coach. He can do that on the Eastern Seaboard. He just can't do it within this cluster of teams. That's what we're saying. And that's, I think, an interesting out. And that's could be their
And Toronto could throw a boatload of money at Bruce Cassidy as well in this scenario. It's worth monitoring. Once again, I keep saying, going back to don't hate the player, hate the game. It's the fact that Vegas is allowed to do all of this. They have the right to do so, and at least for now, until maybe somebody else smarter than me does some deeper diving.
There's one more name we haven't talked about. Okay.
Oh.
He has held many roles in the Edmonton Oilers organization. He's still in the organization right now.
You're not going to say Glenn Sather.
No, no, I'm not. All those slots would be incredible. You planted a bug now.
Run it back.
It's somebody in the organization.
We'd have another 5 players with substantial issues.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe he could be a player coach.
Yeah.
Lace him up once again. But I digress. Back on track here. There is one name, somebody who's done a lot of things in the organization, who thinks he's smarter than everybody else. Have we ruled out Jeff Jackson as the next head coach of the Edmonton Oilers?
I thought you were going down a McTavish road.
Well, I thought about it, but I thought Jeff Jackson's funny.
I was like in my head, is Kevin Lowe still employed by the Oilers? Like, who can we run back here?
Jeff.
We can't rule it out.
No, I'm going to go with no on that.
I think would be.
I'd like to rule it out.
I'm still surprised he has a job, let alone taking over that other job.
That's part of it, right?
Well, is there any scenario where, and I mean, Stauffer doesn't seem to think so, it doesn't seem to be what Paul Coffey wants, but it might be what DK wants.
You know Daryl wants that.
He keeps bringing him back. Paul's like, please, lose my number. I want to help. I love the Oilers, but stop it. Please, okay, fine, I'll come back. And now, what if he gives him one more Godfather type of ask and says, hey, Paul,
Bag
please.
of money right in front of him. I mean, maybe, but once again, that feels like something we've already kicked that can in 2 different times. We've tried to shoot off the Paul Coffey bullet, and if he still doesn't want to be here, but it's a messy situation right now for the Edmonton Oilers. Otherwhere or elsewhere?
Maybe one more thing.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, get it out about the oil,
Babcock.
and then we'll move on.
Would Babcock being hired by the Oilers be a greater shock than John Chayka being hired by the Leafs? Because really, Chayka, that was way out of left field. And it's the Leafs. They could get anybody.
See, I could make the argument that you'd be like, the Leafs said they wanted somebody analytical and a nerd. So I'd be like, okay, that makes sense why that was there. But I could apply that same logic and be like, well, the Oilers love hiring scumbags. So, of course, they would do that with Mike Babcock. I don't know what would be. I think the Babcock's one more shocking. He's got not so good optics in PR with his name.
One thing that I wonder too.
Chayka's just not liked.
No, nobody likes him. As evident by Steve Simmons' 20 people that he've talked to around the NHL. I wonder if there's a route, and this is just just some general broad thinking on the coaching perspective. Is there a coach out there who would take a 1-year deal to just come behind the bench for a season? If the Oilers are as hard after Cassidy as they are, right? He's got a year left, Cassidy, on his deal, right? Mm-hmm. Is there a coach that would be willing to do that? And that's thought sparked off of the Paul Coffey comment. And I just wonder if there's a scenario out there where maybe that's a route.
Yeah, that's good. Just a placeholder.
Placeholder for a year.
For who knows how long Vegas continues to play this game here and whatnot, if that did bleed into next season. Yeah, who's a guy that just wants to empty the tank? I don't know. Bruce Boudreau is like the only name that but I don't want that. I don't want that.
Bruce or...
He needs to be in media. He's too adorable. He needs to be in media.
Barry Trotz. Says he's going to hang it up, but fuck it, he's coming back again.
Guys don't retire. No. You know what I mean?
Senior
hockey
advisor.
Guys they don't. They say they will, and then they're the general manager of the LA Kings. And you're like, wait, I thought you were retired. No. So, yeah, I think most of the coaches that are even on this list would take a 1-year deal to coach the Oilers anyway.
Randy Carlyle.
Let us know in the chat what you're thinking, what you're feeling. We did get a super. Did we get a super chat?
We did, yeah.
At one point, my YouTube won't load.
It was
Can you read
a
it for me?
BBL request.
Can you read it for me?
Lance, $5 to the Ben Selter Foundation. Thanks, Lance. Bring back the big black laptop. Show me your big, beautiful laptop, please.
Thank you, Lance. We love you. We appreciate you all your super chats in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. Elsewhere in the NHL world, we got conference finals starting. It's been so nice to not have to really envelop myself in the series that have still been going on. But, hey, there's a Final Four that looks pretty good. Obviously, Colorado and Vegas. That starts tonight. And then tomorrow we should get Habs and the Carolina Hurricanes. Tonight, no Cale Makar, which is definitely concerning after the amount of time that Colorado had off for him still to miss Game 1. I also believe I read Mark Stone. Kind of GTD type decision here. Might be a little bit banged up. Yeah.
Eternal.
Here's my shocked face. Give me your predictions. I'll start with you, Menzies. Who do you think's gonna be going to the Stanley Cup final? Because I, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, was just sitting there during ONE and we were talking about Carolina and Colorado, and I went, it is that simple in my opinion. So I placed a parlay future for them both to go to the Cup final. It's plus 185. Felt like free money to me, courtesy of Bet365. Who wins and why?
It does feel like a little too easy. Yep. You know what I mean? Like that these teams.
If it feels that simple, it might be that simple.
It could be. I do think Vegas could, in theory, present challenges to the Avalanche if they can gamesmanship it up. And with Makar's injury, like when watching Game 5 against the Wild, like when Makar went off the ice. Like, he was putting, like, it looked like it could be a significant injury, and therefore you have Kulak playing so many minutes. So, I think it'll be, I'd still take Avs in 5, though, and I will say Hurricanes in 6. And I'll give the Habs a little bit of leeway, because I'm thinking that early in the series, they can cut and paste what they've been doing, maybe a little quicker than the Hurricanes can, and maybe Frederik Andersen isn't Patrick Waugh, and
he's due for a bad game.
You know what I mean? Like,
and this is usually when it happens.
And the Habs can score on a power play versus the teams, the Hurricanes, and give their PK credit, but I just have a hard time getting there. Like, who do you think is more at risk of being upset?
Colorado.
Is that really an upset, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
You think so?
I mean, I get it that it's like, okay, 3 of the 4 teams are 1 seeds. Vegas is a 1 seed. It isn't necessarily that crazy, but at the same time, it was the pillow fight Pacific.
I mean, the dominance Colorado had from front to end has just been.
Yeah.
President's Trophy, who knows, Nathan McKinnon.
I mean, it'll be an upset because I'm sure when there's the articles of all the predictions in the series, it's going to read largely one way. So it'll be an argument against people's perceptions.
Yeah. What about you? Predictions, thoughts?
I think it's Colorado out of the West. I think Vegas just struggled too much at too many points this season. Carter Hart has been good for them thus far, but does he fall apart at some point here? And it's going to be against the grain, but I can see the Habs winning this series.
Shout out Boston Pizza.
I really can. Montreal went 3-0 this year against Carolina in the regular season. They outscored them 15-8. 5 goals, 4 per game, 2.67 against. You mentioned Freddie Andersen. Tremendous so far in the playoffs. A big reason why they've gone 8-0. But again, he had a dog shit season. Like, his regular season was not good. This is a Habs team that can give fits. And it's kind of interesting when you look at it, because I see the East having deeper rosters than I do the teams in the West. Colorado's not getting a whole lot from their bottom six offensively right now. There's a couple of goals here and there, but nothing super consistent. Vegas similarly have been, ride or die with their top six. Carolina and Montreal are both fairly deep teams. We've seen Zach Bolduc have some big games. Alex Newhook is edging himself into lore with his big performance in the playoffs.
If he was a UFA at this upcoming July 1st, holy shit, would he get paid? He has one more year left, which means he can then be eligible for like an extension. He's still going to get paid. There's no way.
Carolina's riding momentum somewhat from 2 series sweeps, but the hype around Montreal to beat Tampa in 7 and then beat Buffalo in overtime in Game 7, I don't know. They just seem like, and it seems like once every 5 or 6 years, you get this flash in the pan from the Habs.
Like the Habs.
Yeah. Like they're just, they just go on this run out of nowhere, and you seemingly can't stop them. And it kind of feels like that's where we're at with this team right now.
Remember some Yaroslav Halak led runs from the Habs back in
2010?
Good times, man. Good times. So, Brett, what about you? What are you thinking? Your just predictions, winner for each one.
I think the winner of the Avs Vegas will win the cup. I think it'll be Colorado, Carolina, and Colorado wins.
But on this show, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what the wheel thinks.
Do you want to put him on the wheel?
Is it possible to get the wheels predictions here?
That's going to be big for me. If I didn't already have a parlay placed on my 2 combatants in the cup final, I would be blindly riding.
What does the wheel say?
It's a good point, Menzies. It's a good point. I guess while producer Brett, while you pulled that up, anything else? World Championships going on as well.
Well, Carolina, look, they played 8 games versus Montreal's 14. This is the longest team layoff, 12 days for any, one team.
If I have to hear rest versus rust one more time in a media discussion, I swear to God. I swear to God.
But what about the point system? No, we can't be doing this. But yeah, I just think that is compelling. Carolina's won most of their games by so little margin. They're winning every game 3-2 or some variation of. So I think Montreal can pose a little challenge with that. But it just does seem like we're on a 1v1 sort of course here.
I'll tell you that Habs Sabres series was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
It was good hockey at its finest. The Habs, the Bell Center, I want to watch them. And as I said, shout out BPs. It's been 32 dark years since a Canadian team has lifted Lord Stanley. Shout out the hockey gods as well. Cup year for the Habs.
Ole, ole, ole.
What is cup year in French? What is cup year?
Cup year.
Hoop.
It's a little more Italian.
Yeah. I don't know what you're shooting for.
Hatcher de...
Top years.
Yeah, no, that didn't work.
Yikes.
Enjoy Googling while you can.
What?
Google's ending.
Annie de la Coupe. Yeah.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
Oh, Brett, you made the wheel? Might as well give me a spin while we're here. Give me a shuffle. Give me a couple shuffles.
Yeah. Here we go.
Back to our roots.
So this is a cup winner, I suppose, with all 4.
Should we have done 2 separate? I feel like maybe we should. You do the Eastern Conference Finals and then the Western Conference Finals?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe. Just the most clarity from the wheel that we can.
We miss it.
We can
I've
get
been jonesing for some wheel
this is
action.
in 2006 first round rematch for those.
Well, we almost had the 06 Eastern Conference rematch with the Sabres.
Yeah. All right, Brett, do me a favor. Spin the wheel.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, the wheel likes the
Annie de la Coupe. All right, okay, now give me Avs Golden Knights. Give me that as well. Okay, couple shuffles. Integrity. Spin that wheel.
Here we go.
Okay, well, should we Should we spin the wheel one more time?
I think we got a one more.
I think we should
spin.
maybe figure it out one more time here.
So if it's a Colorado-Montreal final, do the Avalanche wear the Nordique jersey? That would
There's
be
a layer.
that would be tempting the hockey gods to come down
so
on them
fucked up.
because they didn't do well in the Nordique jersey this
throwbacks?
year. Yeah,
No.
they had a bad record in them.
Well, then maybe they wouldn't be in favor of doing that. Then. Brett, couple shovels. For all, it didn't even barely change. For all the marbles, for the Stanley Cup champion, would you spin that wheel? Here we go.
All right.
How anticlimactic.
All right.
The best team all season. So, there you got it.
The wheel is spoken.
The wheel has...
Should we tweet out the wheel pick?
Habs over
Conference final
Habs
picks?
in the
you're doing
final,
it? Nice.
plus 500, courtesy of our friends at Bet365.
I may have to pay homage to the wheel and
Might have
just
to get
do,
in on that. A little sprinkle.
yeah.
A little salt bay action on that one as well. Otherwise, hockey news, Canada, 3-0, right? At the tournament right now, the World
Yeah.
Championships.
Have you noticed the Austrians?
No, I haven't.
3-0.
Really?
Yeah.
Name me an Austrian hockey player.
Oh, come on. Adolf Hitler.
I couldn't name another
Painter.
Austrian.
Sorry, Painter. Brett, we may need to go back in.
I don't know if I could name another Austrian. Either way, Canada beat Sweden 5-3. 6-0 dub over Italy, 5-1 over Denmark. And then there's been a lot of, I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Sidney Crosby not wearing the C. There's a lot of talk about it. My stance is if Sidney Crosby doesn't have a problem with it, who am I to have a problem with it? Where do you come out on it?
Well, I
It's
believe
weird that he's not wearing it, but
didn't the players choose Celebrini?
I believe there was something that a closed door of something was had.
Which I mean,
Again,
major props.
I could not I get that it's Crosby and you don't. Everyone's like, it looks weird that he's wearing the A. Find something. We got too many opinions on too many things these days, and I understand that in itself was an opinion. So I'm kind of talking out of two sides of my mouth, but whatever is my stance.
We say on one of Owen's 11 podcasts, there's too many goddamn opinions.
Hey, I'm aware of it, but Canada.
No hiding it.
Bouchard has 1 goal in 3 games. Darnell Nurse has 3 apples. What do you know?
Yeah.
Working
Raising-
up that trade value,
I
Zach
was just gonna
Laing.
say, playing with his future captain, Macklin Celebrini.
Also playing with the guy he might be traded for in Morgan Riley. There's also some of that.
I
going on.
don't.
No.
I'm
I
not
shouldn't
into
even said
that.
I shouldn't even said that.
I gotta not gonna lie, I feel kind of bad because I mentioned that in passing on the sauce.
Yeah, you started a
couple
lot of
weeks
this
ago,
shit, Zach.
and
Yeah.
it was just a theory, and it's kind of taken a whole new life of its own, which has been pretty interesting to see.
Opinions. Throwing them out, baby.
I love opinions.
Other than that, Ike Howard, did he score another goal today?
Yeah,
I
up to
believe
3.
as well. So
Had a
3
2-goal
goals.
game.
Pretty
couple
good.
days ago.
The kid can shoot the puck. I mean, there's no hiding it. We've never doubted it.
Bob
with
had
the
it first.
Iceman. Shout out Iceman. We'll talk about Drake in a couple of minutes. We'll get into that. I bet Ike Howard is just bumping this shit out of Iceman in that locker room. There's no way he's not. But yeah, and other than that, Josh Szymanski has 1 assist, I do believe. I haven't watched any Germany games. Have you guys?
No, I haven't caught the Germans.
That's probably for the best after your comment.
Well,
Oh, well.
no comment to that. I think for Nurse, this could just be a very good experience. You know, he gets back in. It's a different atmosphere and environment. I don't like Nurse. We have our frustrations. I don't think Nurse is like total dog shit or anything like that. That at times he gets projected like he isn't an NHL player.
Or he's a forward or something.
You know what I
bullshit.
mean? He's overpaid. That's a scenario for what he does. But I am leery when it gets talked about as like Morgan Riley, just because the Oilers got better versions of Morgan Riley. You know, like the defenseman that they would need to fill the slot of Nurse is more of that classic style defenseman who he's hard nosed, but it could also be mobile. And etc. You would need to
Darnell
try to
Nurse physically checks a
that.
lot of boxes and whatnot, and Morgan Riley. Like, once again, it's just Darnell. He got paid $5-6 million. We would love the shit out of Darnell Nurse for everything he's done
conversation.
for the franchise. Morgan Riley, I don't know if we would still like him at even $5 or $6 million, but maybe I got to watch more Leafs games, which I'm not ever going to do. So
Michael Grabner, Austrian hockey player.
Yes.
Michael Raffle,
Yeah.
Austrian hockey player. And of course, almost an Oilers legend, Thomas Vanek.
Yeah. Vanek would
Thomas
be
Vanek was Austrian?
Yep.
Wow. Good for him.
gun to my head, I think
Shout
he would
out
have been
2006 Buffalo Sabres.
the
correct?
only one I would have been able to name, but I kind of went for the...
I feel like there was a goalie. I'm trying to find a goalie that, like, recently. I feel like there was a goalie that you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Where'd
an Austrian
Archis
goalie.
Urbe? What country was he from?
No, Latvia.
Latvia, but Soviet Union, Latvia, very... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's your on the ice hockey talk that we got for you there. I also have some away from the rink. I got a Connor McUpdate for you.
Okay.
We all
yeah,
know
yes.
my number one thing this summer is that Connor McDavid needs to have a normal 29-year-old summer where he steps away from the rink, even if just for a bit, to make mistakes, have a good holiday, drink some beers, have some good times. So we knew he was out in Utah with Lauren, and then it was either her old friend and her boyfriend, husband, whatever. They did their time in Utah doing yoga, out on the rocks, drinking some wine and whatnot. But now they're out in Turks and Caicos, and Connor McDavid has some of his best vacation fits. Look at him here. Looking fine. The cream color, beige color wasn't just in with the Oilers jerseys. It's
Can we
still
go
in
full
with McDavid
screen
here.
on that?
Zoom in. Settle down. Settle down. All right, there, as Brett does it. So he's looking good there. There's another one as well. And then there is a photo of he's playing chess with his brother Cam. Oh, look at that fit there as well.
Wow.
Nice
That's
and
luxury.
casual.
That looks like strained casual. Like, look, and it's so far back that it's like, look how tall these ceilings are here.
You can tell this is European. This is very unsubtle.
Look at the
boys.
luxury.
How much do you think that Airbnb cost? How much do you think that Airbnb
really
cost?
Over
Ouch.
under on the ceiling height, 17 and a half feet.
Those all?
Oh, over.
Yes.
Gotta be over.
Don't
Over.
worry, men's. I'm going to throw this your
That's what
way
I'm
afterwards.
thinking.
And then Brett, show the other one of him with his brother. Cam McDavid on like their own yacht, it would appear to be, playing chess.
Sick.
What do you think McDavid's
What do you think he's sipping on there?
ELO is?
His what?
That's your chess rating.
I couldn't tell you. But it looks like Cam's drinking a mojito. And Connor.
Aperol Spritz.
Yeah, I think he might
Long
be an
Island
Aperol guy.
iced tea.
I'm trying
Just
to
put
look
it all
at
in there.
the position here and try to tell. And yeah, I'm just trying to tell where we're at, because obviously McDavid playing the black pieces.
Aggressive.
Oh, you're trying to see who's winning.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
call.
I mean, I don't think either have learned the concept of castling, which is
This is the Connor McUpdate.
early
Kevin
on.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be some time. Chess.com.
And then we also did get, last week I said I got nothing for Leon Draisaitl, but some photos did drop, and even a video as well of Leon Draisaitl, who's he's out. I'm not entirely sure where. Also, I don't know who this guy is.
Who is he?
Last week I said, who's Connor's guy that's living my dream and having a bromance?
Yeah.
Look at these photos of Leon with his bro here. They're having a good time wherever they're out vacationing. You see this one.
Big
Arms
babushka
around each
vibes.
other. Draisaitl rocking I guess like a bandana turned into a babushka. And then, Brett, do we have the video of Leon? Look at this also. Romantic setting here for Leon and his buddy. So maybe it's like they're going on like double date trips,
There's
but
like
not together.
Mykonos?
But not together. I don't know, but it looks nice as shit. And there he is. I'm hoping he's had a couple of Aperol spritzes himself here. Leon Draisaitl got some moves, snapping the fingers. So the boys be vacationing well.
I mean, it kind of looks like it was like the Western Wall in Israel that they were visiting. Like, did we get an exact locale?
No, I didn't. I just saw this all online. Oilers Nation. We had retweeted a couple of these as well. So I can say that looks like normal 29-year-old, 30-year-old summers, in my opinion. Zach, we were just talking about how we're getting older. We're 30. You had a bad sleep last night, and your body's not the same. These boys need R&R.
Yeah, they do. I could use some R&R too. Slept a little strange last night. Left ribs a little bit sore day to day. Ibuprofen intake. Nice and high tonight.
There's my guy.
Who is he?
I don't know, but
Tell
we gotta
me who
find
he is.
out because they're doing beach walks together.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, I said it last week. It's tough to watch another person living your dream right in front of you, but getting this one-on-one time with the
But
dynamic duo.
Connor had another dude in their last one too.
That guy's been in a billion photos with him over the years.
I don't like
Because
it.
I think one of
that's
Lauren's
Lauren's friend, right? Yeah.
Sammy.
That's right. That's what you
And
said.
I think that's Sammy's guy. And I think he does some kind of player agent stuff.
Can he coach?
Good question. Maybe he's the answer.
If he can get Connor to put more pen to paper, we are in on that. So there you go. There's your update for the fellas. Now, it is summertime. Zachary, I guess I didn't really even give you anything to prepare for this, so maybe you can go last. But it's the Summertime Jeans Award. It's the Jorts Award. Who do we think around sports, around your life, around anything right now in the last 7 days is underperformed, I will say. I'll find a way to put it nicely. Brett, I think you have one as well. Mans, I don't know if you got something prepared. I do as well, and it kind of goes into a deeper conversation. Brett, do you want to go first?
I can go first. Sure, let's do it. So because this also plays into what your Jorts is, but the beauty of wrestling is that you can make absolutely anything the strongest possible entity in the world. The strongest, the most powerful thing. You know, the Big Show's punch could knock out Floyd Mayweather. You don't want to get punched or it's over. Well, right now in the WWE, there's this guy named Danhausen. Danhausen, he joined kind of recently. He's kind of this demon thing, and he can curse you and curses people. Now, how this has transpired... Yeah. So all he'll say is, you are cursed. And it started with Dominic Mysterio. He ended up losing his title, and it's kind of transpired from there. Again, this is all on WWE TV. Now, the thing is that WWE and ESPN are very closely tied together right now, and there are the NBA playoffs going on. And Danhausen has made a lot of appearances on ESPN recently, specifically First Take with Stephen A. Smith, who is a notorious New York Knicks fan.
Fuck Stephen A, fuck Stephen B, fuck Stephen C. Shout out Jaylen Brown.
Danhausen, a few years ago, when he wasn't in the WWE, tweeted out that he had cursed the Knicks. Earlier in the playoffs, Danhausen came out and uncursed the Knicks on ESPN, and since then, the Knicks have been going on this crazy run. Danhausen joined ESPN yesterday before the game between the Cavs and the Knicks, and this is what happened.
I do have a special mission I've been sent on, and it is for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, to let them know that they are cursed.
Oh,
I do have a special...
interesting.
You just switch up on a curse like that? I guess he can do whatever he wants.
Then he cursed, as we just saw, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, Aaron, you watched the game last night. You know what happened with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were up big.
Big lead.
At one point, they were up by 22. However, in the fourth quarter, the New York Knicks went on a 44-11 run to complete a 22-point comeback and take the series lead 1-0. My Jorts is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, here's the thing. After this, everybody sat there and went, Danhausen might have a point here. And Danhausen has requests.
Danhausen told you the curse was real. We did it. Danhausen has cursed the Cavaliers. The Knicks have won, and Danhausen has won, and now he's owed courtside seats in between Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. Yes, that's right, and then the curse will continue.
Did he say he wants to sit between Timmy Chalamet and
Kendall Jenner? And to be fair, he probably deserves it. So my Jorts, the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they might be cursed.
I mean, I guess that's technically not on them then if they're cursed. That's completely...
That's true.
That's got nothing to do with them. That's part of my Jorts as well. So yesterday's NBA game, folks, you know me. I'm a big guy in the association.
NBA hole.
Absolutely, and I'll say it proudly. Last night's game between the Knicks and Cavs, absolutely insane. You just saw it, 44-11 run, erased a 22-point deficit, and they end up winning game one. My Jorts, specifically, I mean, it could go out to two guys, and it's so easy to just pick on James Harden, which is exactly what the New York Knicks did in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Holy shit. Jalen Brunson, the point guard for the Knicks, put up 38 points, and for the final 8 minutes plus 5 of OT would just hunt James Harden, get him in a pick and roll, and then barbecue chicken, as Shaquille O'Neal would say. Just
Careful.
ate him alive. Shut up. And then I'll say more than that, which I just think is insane. Like, the argument I want to make, you're up 22 points and you lose that game on the road in Madison Square Garden. This series is over. All right, it's dead already. There's no way the Cavs can come back from that, whatever the hell that was. But the point I want to make is that their head coach, Kenny Atkinson, it's very funny that you can be a Final Four head coach and be like, man, how could you ever lose your job? The final 8 minutes of that game, and then into overtime in a bit, but the final 8 minutes, he didn't use his timeouts.
No.
The bleeding was profusely. They were hemorrhaging out, and it was just Jalen Brunson hitting three in their face, taking ridiculous off the backboard shots. Everything was hitting, and they refused to call a timeout, and I couldn't believe it. It just, NBA final 2 minutes usually takes 45 minutes. It went by like that, and it was just the Knicks hitting shot after shot. Kenny Atkinson, if they lose this series, I could totally see him getting his ass fired. But once again, it could even just be a James Harden curse in the playoffs. That's a whole nother curse on its own. Menz, you've been watching the NBA?
No, I watched a good chunk of that game, and it was similar. I'm thinking, like, they have to just get a whistle, go to commercial, like, regroup here, because it did take too long, I thought, for the Knicks to figure out, hey, like, we need to go at Harden. Yeah. And obviously, they kind of struggled a bit, too, and, like, OG Anunoby, like, played well without the ball, wasn't so good with it.
Can't shoot.
All of that.
He's come back from 2 weeks of injury, but
yeah, exactly. So there was a bit of rust there for the Knicks, whereas the Cavs were just rolling after somewhat of an unlikely...
You mean rest versus rust?
It was a little rest v. rust.
1v1 rust.
Yeah, so... no, I enjoy the game. I mean, you had both game ones go to overtime in the conference finals, right? I mean, the game before that was stunning.
Unbelievable. If you do not know who Victor Wembanyama is yet, well, he has officially made his playoff arrival, you can say. So the NBA playoffs, and I will say, have been shockingly good this year. Normally it's the first two rounds are just, they suck. And you're waiting to get to the Final Four of the NBA Finals. It's been electric every step of the way. But what you've been waiting for is to get to basically the NBA Finals right now, the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. Thunder, defending champs, best team in the NBA all season, against the freak of nature, 7'5" alien boy that is Victor Wembanyama. And at 22 years old, he put up in game one, legendary performance, 41 points, 24 rebounds, 9 of which were offensive rebounds. He had 3 blocks, 1 steal. And this man's a freak. I call him an alien in the most complimentary way because he's 7'5" at 22 years old. And Brett, can you play the highlights? The balls on this guy. Down 3 in the first overtime, pulling up from Steph Curry range in transition. Bang, Mike Breen. Actually got a jeans for him as well. Because yesterday's game, to take that shot down 3, and I get it 2 for 1 because there's 28 seconds left. The balls to do that, let alone at 22 years of age, a 7'5" player should not be able to do these things. It's disgusting, and I said it for years that LeBron's ruined the NBA. It's a matter of time before Victor Wembanyama just clears every MVP and every championship. We've never seen, Zach, a freak of nature like Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I'm not a big association guy. I follow the big storylines. I know about Wemby and all that sort of stuff. I did see in passing like a shot chart from that game the other night, and it was like every single one of the points that he scored was basically under the rim. And then there was the 3-point shot from Halifax, Nova Scotia that he absolutely drains. Unbelievable stuff. The guy's a freak.
A little Matty from Red Deer, Alberta.
Yeah. But what I liked is that Wembanyama typically, I think, falls back and settles for jump shots too often. In that game one, they kind of figured out, hey, if he stands right near the rim and we throw the ball to Wembanyama, he kind of can't be stopped.
He's
here.
bigger than everybody else.
You know.
The Spurs have given
Well,
the
then
Thunder...
they're putting Alex Caruso,
who
6
did,
foot
who did a
5.
damn good job. He's trying his hardest.
He's a foot shorter.
It's crazy. He's guarding him up on the three-point line. And his head is just looking straight up. And, I mean, Wemby is... Once again, when you're built like that, it's always about the longevity of an NBA career. Let's just sit back and appreciate what we're watching right now, because who knows how long it could go on. But I'll also say, like, the Thunder have been the undoubted best team in the NBA all season long, won last season. But the Spurs are kind of their kryptonite.
Yeah.
And there was an interview earlier this season to one of their guards, Jalen Williams, and they were like, what's the issue when you play the San Antonio Spurs? And he looked the guy dead in the eyes and he just went, well, they've got a 7'5" alien freak that alters everything we try and do. That's why. That's what kryptonite is, and he's going to change the NBA, so... He's a freak. Oh, the other genes one I had. So did you watch yesterday's game of the Knicks and the Cavaliers?
Yeah, a good chunk of it.
Mike Breen, the GOAT of NBA play-by-play commentary, known for his Brett. How would you describe it? Give me a fake call here. Bang! Bang! There's the...
Were you giving me the shot?
Do you want to play the Steph Curry one first? So this is what he's known for doing. This is back in the day, an old highlight. And he actually treats us to a double bang in this clip. So, Brett, please roll it.
Yeah.
About Iguodala. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! With 0.6 of a second remaining.
Shot it just about the same spot.
In the same building, I will also point out to you that it happened in the Thunder's home building. So he's known, Breen, everything. That's why we always go bang, bang.
Yeah.
And even the greats sometimes, Men's, you're a play-by-play guy, even the greats occasionally slip up. So last night in the game of the Knicks and the Cavaliers, I believe it was Sam Merrill, had a three-pointer, a shot to win the game, and the ball went in and out of the hoop, and Brett, just play it for me because Breen, even the greats fuck up from time to time. Here it is, a premature bang.
Merrill, three-pointer, in and out! Halfway down. One more. Merrill, three-pointer, in and out!
He wanted it. Once again, you gotta work for these moments. And that ball was halfway down and then found its way out, which, to the curse, that could be the curse right there, Brett. Like that was. But
I'm not saying.
If he's cursing Mike Breen, I'm not in favor of that.
No. It wasn't Mike Breen.
Leave him out of that.
Collateral.
There you go. NBA is good right now, boys. The NBA is good, so I've been really been appreciating that. You got any jeans candidates?
Yeah, I'll give you one. So there's a guy named Oz Perlman. Mm-hmm. Oz, the mentalist. And he's been on a million shows, Oz, and he does his mentalism. They're not magic tricks, what he's doing. This is mentalism. And he's been on several podcasts, and people react very strong, as they do. They're incredible what he's doing. There was a guy from Australia who recently put out a 5-hour YouTube video explaining what Oz is doing. And I haven't listened to this part yet, but Pablo Torre of Pablo Finds Out.
You don't want Pablo on the case.
Is on the case of Oz. Because here's the thing. Oz is like, he wrote a book that it was basically selling like, oh, you can learn these tricks too. I'm not doing anything that special. I'm a mentalist, but it's not magic that I'm doing. And it pisses me off because not that I know magic that well, but these are magic tricks that he's doing. And people don't like this. And I don't like this. That a guy is saying, no, it's mentalism, that what he's doing is, no, they are magic tricks, and they are editing tricks, and they are tricks like anything else.
And Pablo Torre's going to find out.
And Pablo Torre is finding out, which is not what you want to have happen. So I am glad that we are slowly, the culture is turning against O's.
Damn straight.
Because this is not right. It's not magician's code. It isn't. Because when you are the magician, it's understood. A magician will tell you that they're tricking you.
Yeah.
That this is an illusion. O's is going on. No, this isn't what I'm doing at all.
He's like a I'm built different type
exactly.
of...
Exactly. And just...
Granted, I guess I did love the Mind Freak, and he was kind of that same thing, but...
But Chris Angel's different.
Chris Angel.
He was still like... It was still known he was an illusionist. And that
he would use that word at least. So yeah, totally.
He was an illusionist. So you can... you're getting fooled, and that's part of the game. And people love... I think it is one of the few things in the culture that does inspire wonder. Like, wow, a well executed trick is brilliant. It's awesome, but we understand that we're getting fooled. And the answer, of course, is never as impressive as what the trick is. We don't want to know the prestige, as it were. But I am glad to see.
It looks like all of this got found out because of when he was on Bussin' with the Boys with Will Compton, and that Will Compton and how he answered this is how this is all kind of unraveled.
Get out.
So I'm going to have to dig in deeper.
Well,
this is hilarious.
And it's like, look, don't get me wrong. Like, he's immensely talented, and he, on his feet, is great when people have, like, thrown curveballs, and he can adjust very quickly. But he's using tricks. He's using, apps that you can download on your phone. There's all these pre-meetings that are going on before he appears on shows, which make the trick less impressive if people knew about that, etc. So I am glad that we're turning on O's. He's a magician. He should be labeled as a magician, and he should quit talking like I'm not. I'm in this old category of my own. Quit it. O's, where's the jeans?
I stand with you. Jorts. I stand with you.
Jorts.
He fucking sucks. I hate it.
It just freaks me out. And unless he's telling me who's going to win the Super Bowl 4 months ahead and I can place my future on that, what good is that to me, O's? You're just freaking me out.
You're no wheel.
You ain't got shit on me. Zach, any jeans?
Yeah, jorts. Jorts. Yeah,
see,
yeah,
it's even
jorts.
for me. There's one on me.
I do, and admittedly, I haven't fully dived into the Blue Jays as much as I have in years past at this point of the summer here. But my God, are the Blue Jays ravished with injuries this season. It has been absolutely relentless. George Springer was hurt earlier in the year. The Jays have lost a number of guys for significant amounts of time.
Barger threw a guy out from the outfield. It was sick. And then the next day was on the 15-day DL because he threw too hard.
Blows his Tommy John out. An unbelievable toss, too. But, right off the start of the season, Cody Ponce, his first start for the Toronto Blue Jays, on home field at the Rogers Center, goes to get a bit of a dribbler of a ball heading towards first base, bang, blows out his ACL. And it felt like from that point on, it was just a disaster for the team. Shane Bieber's still working his way back from injury. Santander is hurt. Yimi Garcia, one of their better relievers for the last couple of years, has been banged up. Jose Barrios is now going for TJ surgery himself, although he's kind of a shell of his former self. Alejandro Kirk has been out with a busted thumb. Max Scherzer's hurt again. It's been a disaster. Meanwhile, you got guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. swinging at literally fucking everything right now. And George Springer the other night, too, had an opportunity to draw a walk to get bases loaded and just whiffed on 3 balls well underneath the strike zone. So it's been a mess so far for the Blue Jays. Don't know what the rest of this year is going to look like.
Isn't it just one of those when you climb the mountaintop so close, but you don't get it there? It just felt like when they lost that game, you just knew the next season. Like, it was a dream scenario last year. It was everything kind of broke right. Very highly competitive and expensive AL East. They didn't get the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And it just felt like this was inevitable that this season is going to go this way. And I hate to bring this back to football. That's exactly how I feel about the New England Patriots. Is that last year was a dream scenario. It's going to fall apart.
Boo this man!
Quiet down, all of you. I'm making your point.
Hey, no,
Matt,
it's
I
funny.
feel it's similar that you get all the way up there, and then you're going to see a much more difficult schedule. And who knows if you're ever going to get back there. That applies to the Edmonton Oilers as well. The last fuck you over there.
Hey, no,
Go cry in your banners.
You can't.
I will.
I just have to say, Aaron could kind of see me, but I was kind of trying to bury my head into the microphone while he was doing that, because you said how, once they lost, it just felt so bad. And I remember my feelings when the Blue Jays lost. And
We're doing this again. We're doing this again.
I was pretty pumped up.
We're taking a victory lap this many months
back.
later.
You want to talk about Drake, baby? Back to back.
I wish we could cut his mic.
Well, I can cut yours.
At the Seahawks, home to the Steelers. At the Jags,
it's so
at
bad.
the Bills, home to the Raiders, home to the Jets.
It gets easy in the middle there a little
at
bit.
the Bears. At the Dolphins.
Menzies, let's do the win-loss. Give it to me.
Okay, all right. Okay, so week 1, Super Bowl rematch at the Seahawks. Prime
Loss.
time. Sunday, 11 afternoon, week 2, home to the Steelers.
Win.
Sunday, early afternoon, at the Jags.
Loss.
Early afternoon, week 4, at the Bills.
Loss, because we'll split. So if it's at Bills, I'll go that. 1 and 3.
Yeah, next early afternoon again, home to the Raiders.
Win.
Next week, early afternoon, home to the Jets.
Win.
Thursday night football at the Bears.
Loss.
Late afternoon, home to the Dolphins.
Win.
Late afternoon, home to the Packers.
Loss. I'm being an honest sports fan.
This is
right. I'm at 4 and 5 right now, but I'm losing fingers.
Munich game. At Munich against Detroit, the Lions.
Because I gave the Packers that one, the loss, I'm going to give this one the win. 5 and 5.
Bye.
Loss.
Win. I'll win the bye week.
Sunday night football at the Chargers.
Win.
Late afternoon,
6 and
home to
5.
the Bills.
Win, because I said we'd split 7 and 5.
Thursday night football, home to the Vikings.
Win, 8 and 5.
This would be Monday night. Yeah. Monday night at the Chiefs.
Loss, 8 and 6.
Early afternoon at the Jets.
9 and 6.
Week 17, home to the Broncos.
9 and 7.
And then last game, home to the Dolphins.
Win. 10 and 7, okay.
10 and 7.
It's all right. So maybe 9 and 8, 10 and 7. You could maybe see those flip. Yeah, last year was the year. Also, though, I am happy to report it's been 7 days. No Vrabel and Diana Rossini updates.
I don't like that.
Well.
Actually, let me search Vrabel.
We have had some photos of Diana Rossini sneaking out to get some groceries, masked up, wearing all black.
She eats.
She eats. She goes to the store. She's still living a relatively normal life.
What a harlot.
Man, I keep saying it, but when she does call her daddy with the Tell All podcast, that is going to hit. And I'll listen to the entire thing. We're all gonna listen to the entire thing.
We'll be watching it.
We'll have a reaction. We'll have a live reaction.
We'll go live right afterwards.
Yes.
We'll go live during. It'll be a watch along.
That's
It'll be
right.
a watch along for that.
That's right.
Other updates around the sports world. Did you guys see Rashee Rice is now in prison for jail for 30 days?
Yeah,
Not
jail.
prison.
Yeah.
He's in jail for 30 days. If you don't know the story, reckless driving. He was on the freeway. He tried to leave the scene as well when this happened years ago.
Yep.
Where the fuck were you walking to on the freeway? Don't know. But so he's had to jumped through these hoops and whatnot, and he just now failed a drug test for marijuana and was immediately thrown in the slammer for 30 days, which will fall during Chiefs OTAs and like mini camps, kind of pre-training camp type situation. Objectively hilarious, but it's never, the driving part's not funny. Stay off the weed, went on probation. That part is funny. Your thoughts?
I just got to say, thank God we don't have drug testing at our job.
Yeah.
Why?
Would fail 15 minutes before this show.
Oh, oops. I think it's crazy. I mean, the guy almost kills people in a car crash, and, he's going to jail for breaking probation, which, okay, you break probation, whatever you're doing, but it's weed.
That's the thing that lands him in jail is the weed.
And we've seen the the NFL stance on weed. They outlawed Josh Gordon from the league for smoking a little bit of weed. I wonder if they're gonna punish him again. Has there been any reports of that? Like, did he even face punishment? I can't even remember what it was.
I think so.
The accident.
Well, he got
he got spent 6 days for that.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's right.
But the weed here, I don't think he's not gonna get punished by the NFL.
But it was
failing probation because of weed.
It was a whole prolonged thing because previous injury and when his suspension would actually take hold and an appeal and everything.
Because he was also maybe already going to go for 30 days.
Yes.
I think this just sped up the process, and now he's missing OTAs. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes has a torn ACL as well.
From a football standpoint, too, it's kind of interesting. I saw a report from Shefty. He just had surgery on his knee. For his LCL.
Yes, this is right.
Just had surgery.
So he's not going to be able to rehab properly when he's in jail.
And those first days after those are important
now,
rehabilitation.
They say that. I'm also if this is a Kansas City area jail, he's going to be getting some special treatment. I'm sure there's going to be some guys that. But once again, I don't know that.
Missouri jails. I don't know.
We'll see.
Gang.
That's
depends on what the Kansas City mob has to say about things.
What's the guy who robs banks? Chiefsaholic.
I wonder if he'll be in there.
He might be in the jail.
That'd be sick.
Dynamic duo.
Cellmates?
Podcast? Yes. Would listen to that one.
Could be. I mean, the Chiefs will have an interesting with Mahomes trending to perhaps even start the season. Some of the optimistic reports. No, Rice is a scumbag and should be treated as such. I mean, yes, he's a talented receiver, but
we've seen a lot of talented scumbags in the NFL.
Well, yeah,
before
he's endangering life. He was endangering life was his original crime. To your point about what's crazy. It was kind of like how OJ got off, but then was imprisoned forever for stealing his own memorabilia. Years later, it's that's the thing that.
Speaking of OJ, Mark Furman just died last week.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the OJ detective.
A huge part of the case kind of
that guy.
Dismantled.
Yeah. So, Rice is a scumbag.
Yes, he is. I think that's fair to say.
He'll be wearing the jumpsuit.
Speaking of scumbags, Aaron Rodgers is back. He's going to be back for one more season. Yeah, you guys as Bears fans must despise him. But he did say today that officially, once again, we've seen Brett Favre and Tom Brady say this plenty of times before, but this will be one last ride for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Back with Mike McCarthy, the coach that he won a Super Bowl with back years ago, an offensive mind. I still think Rodgers last year was good enough.
Fine.
He's not nearly MVP level Rodgers of years previous, but the man can still throw a fade route to DK Metcalf in the corner of the end zone just fine. So that'll be interesting to see. Do you actually think Aaron Rodgers will be done after 1 year? Because I do.
Yes, I do, because his body is giving out on him, so it isn't quite the same. Look, I'm the Steeler. He waited for the Steelers to come on bended knee to say, please, we need you at quarterback. We never planned at quarterback.
They got Will Howard.
They drafted Drew Aller, right?
Drew Aller.
Yeah. So that's their plan.
They're going to go 9-8 again.
What's more surprising me is that the Steelers hired Mike McCarthy. They've had 3 head coaches since 1969. They have been lauded as like the most stable of NFL franchises forever. And then like Mike McCarthy is the comparison to all of these like retread experienced coaches we were thinking about with the Edmonton Oilers.
But he's won before.
You know, like, yeah, he's won before, but you also don't feel great about hiring him. So I just thought that was baffling in how they've made really no attempt to address quarterback position in multiple seasons now and are relying upon a 42-year-old to produce a 9-8 season. And as the rest of the AFC North crumbles, there'll be some game where all the Steelers somehow win and you're scratching your how did they win?
It'll be week 15 and they'll still be in the hunt.
Yeah,
be in the hunt
exactly.
graphic.
The in the hunt graphic will feature the Steelers, but it's bizarre, that situation.
I think it's weird too as well. This upcoming draft class for quarterbacks is led to be good. Archie Manning could also be one of them, but there's some solid names. Steelers are going to be drafting 18th once again, and we'll see what that one happens.
But maybe they just like they had Tomlin, like it was voodoo magic. Like some of those games, they would just, and obviously never did finish below 500. But like now, do the Steelers just become more of a normalish football team where it's like, okay, you know, you don't have to worry about like this Monday night game where there's 6-point underdogs at home. They're going to win.
I think McCarthy's going to be the exact same thing as Mike Tomlin. I think it's going to be status quo completely, just mid as shit all over the field.
Yeah.
One of the crazy things about Mike Tomlin, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head or anything like that, but in games where the Steelers were underdogs by like 2.5 points or less, they had like a 70% win rate.
Yeah.
There was nobody better at covering the hook spread on the 3 than the Steelers under Mike Tomlin. It was legend. It was like free money every time you bet it.
It's respect to the guys who cover the spread out there. That means more.
And I would have loved to have seen the record as like short road favorites because it would have been the opposite. Because when you trust, they're a bad favorite to bet on most of the time and a great underdog. Or even they had bet them to trail in the first half, win the game. Trailing at half, win the game. Parlays, they're like 7 to 8 to 1. They'd cash 5 to 6 times a year.
Maybe it can stick around. Who knows? Speaking of football as well, Brett, you want to play the fantasy football punishment video? I don't know if you guys saw this. It came across my desk this morning. Now, fantasy football punishments, we all know them, we all love them. I actually got one coming up in 8 days. I got to do the Hot Ones challenge. Not looking forward to that. 2.3 million Scoville is the last sauce. Yeah, I'm fucked. I might have to book off Friday because I do it on the Thursday. I had to get everybody in my league to be there. Oh. My insides, RIP my butthole, I think is how this is going to go on that Friday.
Lord.
But I digress. There was a video, Brett, if you want to play it. We don't need audio for it, I don't think. But this guy clearly lost his league, and his punishment was to sit up in the upper level of a Kansas City Royals game with some signs, individual letters, I stink at fantasy football. He's wearing like a jumpsuit of some kind. I have the stance on this. That is a terrible fantasy football punishment.
Agreed.
That is trash. That is not even that humiliating. I get, you made it on TV. Sure, that's it. He looks sad. He's wearing a NASA jumpsuit of some kind. There are much, much better punishments than that. And like, I don't know, you have a great view of a baseball game and you got to drink beers and eat hot dogs.
You know, part of my issue with this is, like, well, for one, the Kansas City Royals, lots of empty space in those stands, right? Lots of empty space.
That was a cheap seat he got up there, let's say.
Like, what's with the outfit? Like, okay, it's one thing to have your punishment be, okay, you got to go sit at a game, you got to have the sign and that sort of thing. Make him wear something fucked up.
A clown outfit is made for this scenario.
Yeah, like
a buddy of mine lost our league, and we brought him to a Riverhawks game in full clown attire, makeup, shoes, nose, everything in the 30-degree heat.
Yeah,
that's you could see that being entertaining. Or
that's punishing.
That's humiliating or punishing. I hate this. Then I wanted to ask you guys, what are some of the best punishments you've ever been a part of in a fantasy league or like even heard of? I always honorable mention, I think Liam's Onion Bowl punishment is so fucking funny that at the Super Bowl, the loser of their league has to eat a raw onion or at least attempt and give several bites at it. Enough that it's humiliating and a punishment to do that. I have to do the Hot Ones challenge, which I think that's good and like painful. So that one's easy to do. Have you guys ever done any other ones?
Well, there was one in a league in Bonnyville where the loser had to host the Super Bowl party, all the food, drink, whatever, and then they had to sip out of a dick cup. And they would have to keep that cup, and then at next year's draft, that was still their cup. And so the cup, much like the trophy, wouldn't get passed back until the end of the next season. So not really a humiliation ritual, really.
But still ritual.
But
though.
also, anytime, Bordsy, I need another drink, you have to scurry off. I get it. So it's costly and annoying. Not the most viscerally punishing, though.
I'm thankful I'm not in any leagues that have a humiliation punishment.
Oh, so soft.
It is.
So
It
soft.
is.
We
We've
need
talked
to
about it in
add
the
a
past.
punishment for our league this year.
Well, it's just going to be Waz having to do something
Yeah, you're
dumb
right,
every
exactly.
year.
That's actually as I say that. Yeah, what am I even? It's just going to be was. Other ones that we've done, stand-up comedy. We had to make our one, and it was our least funniest friend. We had to go out and do that, which made it so much funnier.
How'd you find it, Brett? No.
Oh,
Turning your mic off.
On the topic as a whole, though, like even the Super Bowl thing, I get the idea of it, right? But that's like just like a monetary punishment.
Yes.
Like to me, it's got to be something publicly humiliating. The clown outfit.
Yep.
It's got to be something that forces the person into the public realm and gives them red rosy cheeks for a couple hours.
I was going to say the other one that we've done is panhandling on the side of the street. So you just have to earn $20 an X amount of however you do it, but you got to find a way. So like it was our guy like brought his recorder and shit was playing hot cross
That's pretty
buns
good.
with like a sign that said I suck, and it always ends up being somebody who walks by that will help you out who has lost a league before.
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
like, hey man, here you go. And
Lance Kane in the chat is a good one. At his work, they have to wear a pink hard hat that says "I suck at fantasy" for a month.
do you remember what was on my license plate for the last 365 days before
do.
the Super Bowl? I had that. It had pink unicorns on my license plate. That sucks. And
You
then every
lose a
time,
lot of drafts.
I'd also like to make it clear I'm a champion in my other leagues, but when you're in so many
Used to be
leagues,
an annual tradition.
I've lost twice since grade 11 of high school. So it's a long time, but hey, I wear my losses and I will do my punishments. And I also think, so it's next Thursday that I'm doing the Hot Ones thing. I think I'm inviting Waz to come and do content for when I do it so that everybody can experience. Once again, 2.3 million Scoville. The ninth sauce goes from like 700,000 to 2.3 million.
The last
That's
app.
fucked. Like that's so. If anybody in the chat has any ideas, I was trying to find Reddit threads of like what you can do to prep your organs for when you do this. Basically, it was
Probably
just like,
carb up.
and I said a lot of Pepto-Bismol before you're doing it. Obviously, you want to bring your milk.
or something.
You want to bring. Who's that? Who's that, Menzies? You want to share with the kids?
prep. You're gonna prep your insides and prep.
Oh my god.
Oh, well. Hey, you never know. You got to be safe out there. That's fucking crazy. I love that. Oh, my. Okay. I got a couple other funny things. Brett, do you want to play a game or what are you feeling?
Sure, we do have Sporkle up that we were thinking of doing.
I do have that video as well that I wanted to show the fellas.
Oh,
Brad,
yes.
If you got that as well at some point.
Please,
One
please.
second.
So just, as you do, you sit on your phone, you scroll through the reels, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever the hell it was. And I came across this one, and it must be like some kind of a game show, but it's called The Average American. And Brett, if you could pull it up, it's fascinating. So is
that Nate Bargatze or whatever?
So the goal in this one is how many carts can you push into the card holder? So, in the audio of it, they're talking about like Once you kind of get them like lined in with each other, you get some bonus points for that. But it kind of got me thinking, like, what are some other kind of games that you could do about this? Like, one that I was kind of thinking of was like, you know, a closest to the pin style when you're pumping gas.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, to getting it exactly on the number.
Like, you know, like if you're like, you know, you throw $50 in, or you got to prepay for gas now, right? You know, you got to prepay for gas. It's a little different, but you know, I was just thinking, like, what are some other ones that you could kind of do?
So I had happened upon in my algo, I'd seen that the Indiana Fever had done some like internal game, whatever, like this. You had to stack they were being timed doing a bunch of these.
I saw the
type
Kalen
of
Clark
tasks.
thing.
Yeah. But one of the tasks in there, I don't know if you caught it, was folding a t-shirt.
I did, and she did a terrible fucking job of it.
So you had to do like stack. They had to throw, you know, ping pong ball into a cup, and blah. But one of them was folding a t-shirt, and I thought that was nuts, considering. This is going to be shared, published. People say things about the WNBA.
We know the internet.
Yeah, I just
It was wild to see that. I'll agree. She did a terrible job folding up the shirt.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm refereeing that contest, I'm like, go back and, like, it wasn't even close to fold it evenly.
Yeah.
She was rushing it, but yes, that was, I don't know who's in charge of the social media content. Probably would have left that one out. But
I mean, it was
is
good
what
in
it
the
is.
sense that I'm a jerk
Yeah,
talking about it in
Now I'm
northern
trying to
Alberta.
think, Zach, what are other things like that? That's pumping gas is really good, and maybe just go back to the Office Olympics.
Yeah,
you know, like that kind of.
Well, this is very like minute to win it, but now more so on like the day-to-day tasks.
Yeah,
the average American. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm like parallel parking's like, no, that's not cool enough. That's not day to day enough. Like that's not,
Like, how many toothpicks can you break in a minute?
yeah.
No, nobody
but
saw
it's,
that.
but
on
it's
the
got to
this
be like
recently,
day-to-day tasks.
Like
where, like,
eating
the
just
sauce.
one plate of food. for
yeah,
America,
yeah, exactly, right? Like,
opposed to
you know, quickest to unload the dishwasher.
yeah.
That'd be
yeah,
another
right. But you
one.
need something that's
Yeah.
like universal that everybody kind of does and dreads. How fast could you? Not even like full. This is going to keep me up tonight, Zach. I'm going to think because this could be a good YouTube summer content.
It
ideas
could.
For
That's
some
kind of where I
here.
was going with this too. Like, we could have a little bit of fun with this.
Filing
Chat,
your
help us out.
taxes.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
How to drive.
Right? You're still working on that one, hey, Brett? You're still working on that.
Yeah. One of these days, eh, buddy?
I'm last place in that competition.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
I can drive a mean golf cart, though.
Only other things, once again, Wild Boys, we've already almost gone 2 hours. Shout out us, time flies when you're having a fun time with your boys. I guess I got 2 more things. Brett, you want to play me the SGA video? So, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, NBA MVP, back-to-back seasons. First Canadian to do it since.
Steve Nash.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm curious if Steve Nash did this the second time he won his MVP. So, last year when SGA won, he got the entire team Rolexes. This year, he stepped it up a notch. This is insane what he did for his teammates. So, this season, he got them all, every single guy who played even just one game, all AP watches. He got them all identical Burberry matching trench coats, which you'll see as this video progresses. Not much of a trench coat guy myself, but after seeing these, I'm kind of into it. Custom golf bags and clubs that are custom made, YSL cologne, custom tuxedos, iPhone 17s, custom Don Julio 1942 bottles, etc., etc., etc. And this got me thinking, like, you always see the quarterbacks, like, around Christmas that give gifts, you know, whether it's, I don't even know what, they get them, like, golf carts and shit all the time. Seems to be a big one. This feels like the most I've seen be given out in a very long time, which I will say, I said it to Brett, Canadian hospitality. That's the boy SGA who gets paid, what, $60 million a season? I bet he can afford all of these things, but I thought this was worth noting that, like, man, normally you see a guy, they get the offensive line cows. Like they get like, wow, which I still think that's a good gift. This has got to be millions of dollars that he put into this. This is some good stuff because those AP watches, they're not the swatches
Yeah.
So those are the $400 ones. These are the real deals.
It's just so many different gifts.
He couldn't decide.
It kind of goes on and on and on. I mean, it's kind of like a Derek Jeter date goodie bag.
The basket.
You know, here you go. But like so lavish with all of all the different items in it. I mean, yeah, good for him.
I also think
Good to
he's
be a
backed
teammate.
himself into a corner that if he goes for the three-peat, how the hell do you one up that?
Houses.
Well, what do you think this
Just
bill
buys them
comes
homes.
out to?
Oh,
I'd like to know what exact APs they got, but when you think about most watches are around these guys,
So what,
50 to 100 grand a pop
So
type deal?
14 teammates you would have?
I think, but then there's also guys that played with him this season.
Yeah.
That I don't know if they're still on the roster.
No, you can't.
No, but I mean like that you would have guys that were in the G League,
Yeah.
like, let's say. Not just the guys in the playoff roster, which would be 14 more.
Yeah.
You got guys in the G League as well. So I'm not sure the exact number, but yeah, brother, how much are those trench coats?
okay. Well, I found one that seems a little similar. $3,300.
Okay, that's not that bad. There you go.
I mean,
I wonder if
golf
somebody did
clubs,
this.
Like what?
And it said custom clubs
Yeah,
as
like
well,
10 to
and custom
15,
bags.
Like
Depending.
AP watches. Like the lowest one I'm seeing here is like 23,000.
And I'm seeing 40, 50, 60.
That's
I mean, we got
insane.
ones that are 350 up here.
Well, how much of this also is
Now, I
like,
assume he bought in bulk, so he must have got a good deal on this.
but also how much of this is like sponsor? And like, here, give this to your teammates so they can all wear this.
I mean, AP does have us talking about it right now.
Well,
and I haven't mentioned Burberry on a show ever before.
Well,
so
that's
there's that.
the scarf that MJF wears. There you go. It all comes back to wrestling.
Can I say that? Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
No, I was just gonna say you have to get them yachts next year. That's the only way. Maybe a house
Get
or
them
a
what?
yacht. A yacht.
Oh.
Yeah. A sea house.
Does
think
the
he'll have enough for that, too.
iPhones on that list just feel like like a thrown-in item? Like these are all like more so luxury
It's a
items.
filler.
And the latest iPhone.
That's for Jared McCain's TikTok phone. That's his TikTok phone that he's got on his
Yeah.
side solely for TikTok.
Yeah, I just that it kind of seems out of place on that list. The new
You're right. It
iPhone.
does feel like he just gave like 6 of his assistants was like get one thing each.
Yeah.
And then they all
Yeah.
came back and he's like, you know what? There you go. I like golf cart's cool. I like this, but I will say the cow one. You've seen like quarterbacks do it for
Yep.
their offensive linemen. That's a cool thought out gift because you got to get gifts that like these guys are all gazillionaires. You got to get something they would
exactly.
never actually buy on their own.
Yeah.
Which is where like the watch, but I guess that's kind of the easiest thing. I always appreciate when they get like a sword, a katana, throwing stars, just ridiculous boy brain stuff, I guess is really what I think about when I
From
say
the
that.
Dwight Schrute drawer of weapons.
Nunchucks.
I wonder for the cows if they have to buy like a deep freeze for each of the fellas too, right?
You would
Because
think
a
so.
cow, that's a hell of a lot of meat.
One time, me and my roommate bought half a cow. And it took like over a year for us to even like get through.
For just
that.
the
It was-
two of you? Yeah.
Yeah,
that
it
would
was
be-
nuts, man. It was. Whew. Other final one that I have. I just prepared some nice videos for us for discussion.
Perfect.
Did you guys see the
ONAD reacts.
in the exactly
Hey.
in the 6? I think it was yesterday or the day before. It's an absolutely. I mean, it's not hilarious, but it's hilarious in this situation. Did you see the video of the man trying to steal a guy's bike?
Oh,
getting
fuck
shit
yeah.
kicked out of him. So Menzies, if you haven't seen this, shout out to the camera guy
Yeah,
here.
oh,
so purple
hello.
shirt is actively beating the hell out of the guy that just tried to steal his bike. His bike is a little bit further down in the shot.
Oh.
He is beating the shit out of him while he's doing this. You see the jacked guy in the background walking away from his scooter. He's yelling, "Stop it, stop it, stop it." He's had enough, you know. He's already dead type sitch. This kid who's getting beat up, once again, tried to steal the bike. This guy tries to help him, and watch what he does here. Tries to hop on the man who helped him scooter and steal it and drive off with it.
Oh.
Absolutely hilarious stuff here. And once again, crime, not funny. Real theft is not a joke. Now, when you watch someone get his ass beat like that, and then that guy goes out of his way to say, "Stop him, stop it," and help the man out, and this kid just goes out and tries to steal a scooter right out in front of him. The youth these days, Zachary, the youth.
That's like something straight out of like a Looney Tunes skit. You know what I mean? Like
Being
that's
GTA.
just, like you can't make that shit up. You can't script that. That's just pure comedy right there.
Yeah. So in our building in Bonnyville, we were there was a 7-Eleven that was right. There was a back alley and then a 7-Eleven. And so you'd get some unsavory characters that would hang around in that back alley quite often in the summertime and stuff. And the amount of times you would see somebody on a bike, walking a bike.
Yeah.
They would 2 bikes, being like, well, okay, you're not just taking your bike out for a ride and a
Turn some
walk.
mud, sweat, and gears, and
Yeah.
we're back. And,
You know, this other bike needs exercise too, but I can't ride 2. So you see that quite often, and you're like, okay, you're kind of outing yourself here as a thief. But it's common. It's common. Why stop at one bike and they don't trade in? They just add. They take. We're takers. We take. And so they can't. Yeah.
It must be a Lakeland thing. Because when I lived in Lloyd, we lived right behind like I don't know what kind of shop it would be. But it was like a Goodwill type of shop. But there would be, that's where the donation bins would be, and then all the garbages. And there was about 3, there was the Alberta, Saskatchewan courthouse right next door to us as well. And so it was a weird conglomerate of a parking lot. Right. And we would look out, me and my roommate, as we were smoking some thief, we would look out and we would constantly see people coming with bikes into the parking lot. And then they just leave the bike and walk away. Mm-hmm. And then about 20, 30 hours, the whole day later, somebody would come back and pick up the bike, different person, and just ride it off. And that would be the little cycle of different people bringing. There would be multiple bikes in our parking lot. And every single time it'd be like, there's someone there, turn off the lights. We had a whole thing and watch.
Did you live by the giant tiger?
No.
Is that what it was called? Because
No.
you were just naming like dollar store things. I was like,
yeah.
is that what he's talking about? The giant tiger?
It was walking distance. It was like 3 streets away from me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, when
The more
you
you know.
when you get involved with the 10-speed gang, it's careful.
We got to bring our bikes around the river valley and go on a nice office afternoon bike ride.
I don't own a bike, but
beers.
it's they're very easy to get. Apparently, so
I can't ride a bike. I can do the scooters,
You
though.
can't read. You can't ride a bike. You
can't drive.
Can't drive a car.
I'm just happy to be
But
here.
he can produce, baby. But he can produce. All right, that'll do it for us here. Oilers Nation Happy Hour, gentlemen. Appreciate it hanging out once
good.
again. Zach, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. This is
sure,
a blast,
I'm
boys.
sure we'll have you throughout. We'll be doing this for pretty much the entire off season every Wednesday.
does Pangs works a normal?
Yeah, that's the problem. He has to do an actual job.
Yeah.
Which I am considering. Maybe if you're watching this later, leave a comment. We always discuss it, Brett, during the year, but we're just too busy of doing let's hang out on a Thursday night, maybe even a Friday, weekend night, whatever. Let's stream a show and let's do some serious, let's play some Chell. Let's get some WAS streams in here. Let's obviously drink some beers, do some sporkles, but commit to make an evening of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, chat, let me know if you're ever going to be interested in something like that, because we do it in our spare time. We could probably do it here just as easy. So let me know. Other than that, we love you all. We appreciate you all. I'd say thank you to all of our sponsors, but 2 shows in a row that I haven't had to do a single ad read. The boy's living. The boy is living. Shout out the boy, Iceman. It dropped also on Friday, but I won't bore Brett with that. We love you all. We appreciate you all. Throw down your courtesy like on the way out. Make sure you are subscribed to the ON YouTube, and we will talk in exactly 7 days next week for another edition of ON Happy Hour. Until then, be safe out there and have a good rest of your week. Peace out.
Go Babcock.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.